For decades, the United States has dominated the global fighter jet market. Its aircraft are not just weapons, they are symbols of alliance, technological supremacy, and political gravity. So when a small Swedish fighter jet began showing up in serious conversations, usually reserved for American giants, it raised an uncomfortable question in Washington. How did this happen? The aircraft in question is the Saab JAS-39 Gripen, designed by Sweden, an industrial power, yes, but hardly a military superpower. On paper, it should never have been able to challenge America's flagship export, the F-35 Lightning II, the most expensive and ambitious weapons program in history. And yet, in multiple international competitions, the Gripen didn't just participate, it competed. Sometimes it even won. So what went wrong for the world's most powerful defense exporter, and what went right for Sweden? The story begins with philosophy. The United States builds fighter jets for global dominance, long-range power projection, stealth penetration, and networked warfare across continents. Sweden builds fighter jets for survival. During the Cold War, Sweden expected that if war ever came, it would come fast, hard, and close to home. Swedish jets had to operate from short, icy road bases, be maintained by small crews, and get back into the air within minutes. This mindset shaped everything that became the Gripen. The result was an aircraft that was light, agile, and brutally efficient. It could take off from a highway, refuel, and rearm in under 20 minutes and return to combat. While American jets grew larger, more complex, and more expensive, the Gripen stayed lean. But could that really matter in a world obsessed with stealth and fifth-generation technology? That's where the surprise began. As the F-35 entered the export market, many countries discovered that buying an American jet meant more than buying an aircraft. It meant accepting restrictions on software access, weapons integration, upgrades, and even how the jet could be used. Critical systems were controlled from the United States. Mission data files had to be approved. Sensitive maintenance often required American oversight. For some countries, this was acceptable. For others, it raised a quiet but powerful question. Is this really our aircraft, or are we just borrowing it? Sweden offered a different deal. The Gripen came with something rare in modern defense trade: sovereignty. Buyers could modify software, integrate their own weapons, and maintain the jet locally. For nations that wanted independence, not just capability, that mattered deeply. Was stealth worth it if it came with strings attached? Then there was the cost. The F-35 promised unmatched capabilities, but it came with unmatched expenses. Purchase prices ran high, but operating costs were even higher. Maintenance hours, specialized facilities, and long supply chains made the jet a long-term financial commitment. The Gripen, by contrast, was designed to be affordable across its entire life cycle. It used a single engine, required fewer ground crew, and could be serviced without massive infrastructure. For air forces with limited budgets, the math became impossible to ignore. But cost alone doesn't win fighter competitions. Performance still matters. Here, the Gripen surprised many skeptics. It may not be a stealth aircraft, but it compensated with advanced electronic warfare, modern AESA radar, and exceptional situational awareness. In exercises, Gripens repeatedly demonstrated strong results against larger, more expensive opponents. Their data link systems allowed multiple aircraft to share targeting information in real time, turning formations into coordinated networks. Did stealth matter as much as people thought, or was smart networking the real future of air combat? The Gripen's export successes began to tell the story. Countries like Brazil, Hungary, Czech Republic, and South Africa didn't just buy the jet, they partnered with Sweden to build and upgrade it. Brazil, in particular, secured technology transfers that allowed local assembly and future development. Compare that to the tightly controlled F-35 program and the contrast becomes stark. One model says, "Trust us," the other says, "Work with us." This is where the challenge to American dominance became serious. The F-35 was never designed to be flexible. It was designed to be dominant. But dominance comes at a cost, and not every nation wants or can afford that cost. Some don't need a jet to fight a peer superpower. They need a jet to patrol airspace, deter neighbors, and respond quickly to crises. For them, the Gripen wasn't a compromise, it was a better fit. And yet, the question remains, did the Gripen truly threaten the F-35, or did it simply expose a crack in America's export strategy? The answer lies somewhere in between. The F-35 remains unmatched in stealth, sensor fusion, and integration with US and NATO forces. But the Gripen proved something revolutionary, that modern air power doesn't have to be enormous, uncontrollable, or cripplingly expensive. It showed that a smaller country with clear priorities and smart engineering could challenge the assumptions behind the world's most powerful defense export. In the end, this wasn't just a competition between two fighter jets, it was a clash between two visions of military power, one built on scale and control, the other built on flexibility and trust. And in forcing that comparison, Sweden's small fighter jet achieved something remarkable. It made the world rethink what power in the skies really means.